Okay, so then in this video we are going to install the PointGuard EV charger. Now what's so special about the EV charger for PointGuard? Why couldn't you use any EV charger? We are actually using my old EV charger. We'll continue to use that, and it's on a smart circuit, and this is also on a smart circuit, but the big difference is that this EV charger is communicating directly with the load hub. And the reason that's important is that we can actually curtail the power going to the EV through this EV charger. We can do that actively. Whereas a standard EV charger, unless we're communicating with it some way, and certainly older EV chargers wouldn't even have that function, all we can do is turn it on and off. And on and off is fine for some applications, but actually in this particular application, it's much better to have control over it so that if the load is too high for some reason, or the battery's getting low, we can curtail the amount of power going to the EV charger all the way down to shutting it off. And the way we do that is through Ethernet communication. This device, which we're hanging on the wall, we already installed the bracket for it here. And we also have installed the Ethernet cable that's going to go to it. What we're going to do is now take the front off of this and get inside here so we can connect the Ethernet cable into the charger. And that way they're in direct communication, they're talking to each other, and we can now curtail that energy when we need to. There are 3 screws on the bottom of this and 2 screws on the top. So we're going to go ahead and take those out so we can separate and get into the inside of this. And they give you a special Torx screwdriver for this function. Good thing. These are anti-theft screws. We're going to bring the Ethernet cable out the bottom through this grommet here, just to make it look better and to hide the wire. All right, so now we're going to take the bottom off this thing, or separate the front and the back section if you will. And here's where the electrical connector is connected in here. And that's where it interfaces with the other section, and there's our Ethernet cable. It's going to plug in right here. So that's why we got in here, was to get to that Ethernet cable to plug this in. In the future, this will have a Wi-Fi connection as well, but right now we have Ethernet. And quite frankly, for those of you who are Ethernet fans or Wi-Fi fans, if you can hardwire things, especially when they're close like this, I would strongly recommend hardwiring Ethernet because it's far more reliable in general. That's not possible in a lot of cases, and so the wireless option will be helpful in the future. So, but for this case, we're absolutely going to use the Ethernet, and that's where it plugs in. I got a molded Ethernet cable here. Now, of course, we can make up our own Ethernet cable ends, but unless you're really good at that, that is by far the most likely place you're going to have a problem in the future. So my life hack is a small slit on this guy right here. And we just pop it right in. It seals like a champ. We can put the back nut on. Put our insert on. Slide it through. So we got to slide it through here. Put the nut back on. Tighten this in. Pull this up to where it needs to be. Plug it into here. Don't want to pinch anything. And now we can start putting our screws back in. As with anything with multiple screws, do not tie your screws down tight until you get them all in. Okay, so they're all tight. Back onto our mounting point. All right. So this is our NEMA 1450 plug. And we're just going to plug it into our RV receptacle, which of course we can plug an RV into as well. 50 amp receptacle. It's rainproof, outdoor rated. Comes with a nice long cable to make it to your EV. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang the wire here and bring it back. And then I just bring this back in there. Just to review, we installed the Ethernet cable on here. We plugged it into the load hub. So now it has total control over this EV charger, which is different from this old EV charger. This one is just simply on and off with the smart circuit. This one can be controlled to whatever level we want because it communicates with the charger and with the car. So this cable is just hung up over here to get it out of the way. This is where we keep the 1772 connector to keep it from getting run over by a car, getting damaged. This is the safest place for it. It's also out of the sun in this case.